Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the G-Cast. My name is Cryohazard, also known as Hayden, and I am here with...
Americana Ninja.
That's right. We know it's been a little bit, but we got this more figured out now. We're going to try and keep this pretty consistent, make it like a weekly thing. But today I think we have a list of our each five scariest enemies. This will, of course, be our opinion. And Americana has a list over there of what he thinks the overall community would think is the five scariest. So, would you like to start with your first scariest or least scariest?
Yeah. So starting from least scariest, going to most scariest. This is my personal top five, and then we'll go. I have a little idea of what I think the overall is, but the least scariest on my personal top five, but it still scared me, was the Chimera. The Chimera is in Resident Evil 1 and the Resident Evil 1 remake, and it's I got jotted down here, spooky little insect monkey. And I remember when I first encountered that enemy as a kid, it was pretty scary. I did not like that section of the game. Well, I liked it, but I dreaded going through it because how much those things scared me. And you don't really encounter a whole lot of them, just a few of them, but it's definitely very, very spooky. Yeah, the Chimera scared me.
I think further down my list we'll get to an enemy that's very similar to them. Some of you might know what I'm referring to, but I think Chimera is that's a great start. They're also just really annoying, especially because they spawn in during the section. They infinitely spawn in, like they don't stop.
Yeah.
Whenever you have that fuel in your inventory, so you can't run, you just have to walk through, and they can mess you up. Yeah, I don't like them, and they're just bugs. Like you said, I had a spider on me last night. I was sitting outside messing with the outside cats, and there was a spider on me, and I think I kept my composure for about 2 seconds before I just flipped out and like jumped up, and my mom called me. She was upstairs. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Dude, it was a spider. It was a bug. It was scary."
Yeah, if a spider's on me, I'll freak out. If it's like not on me and near me, I'm okay. I'll be cautious, but if I look down, I see a spider on me. Oh, it's over.
Yeah, no, he was like already spinning webs from my forearm to my chest. I was
He's trying to turn you into a home.
Gosh, yeah. He was gonna eat me, dude. But yeah, no, I think that's a good starting one.
Yeah, Chimera scared me. Their movement and the way they would pop down from the ceiling unexpectedly, you wouldn't see them, and then suddenly their arms would just reach out and start slashing you. Definitely, they had some jump scare about them, and little me was quite spooked at them.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think it's important to note that me and Americana grew up in definitely different eras of the franchise, so I think it's going to be
really cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see our lists kind of be different based on that. But my least scariest would be the Bella sisters from Resident Evil 4. I think they're definitely scarier to me than Dr. Salvador. Just something about like the way a woman's voice sounds whenever she's like crazy, angry, and bloodthirsty is a lot scarier than like, Dr. Salvador's sounds. So the way they scream and stuff, and just I don't know, the bandages, it really gets to me. And there's just something about those enemies whenever you're younger, the enemies that can insta-kill you bring you like such a weird feeling of dread, because you're like, I have to stay away. I cannot let them get close to me, right? And you see them running up to you, and you've got two of them now because they're working together. That's another thing with the Bella sisters is there's two of them, so you got to worry about two insta-kill enemies on you.
It is a frightening experience. I definitely agree. That is a frightening fight. You can
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
the spike of adrenaline travel up your spine during that one.
Especially
Definitely.
after like in the original, whenever you just got done with the cabin fight and you're like, okay, which one's the Gigante and which one's the Bella sisters, and you pick the wrong path. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's horrible.
When I play it now, I always go back and I clear both paths when I play it now. But
That
but
is crazy. I could never.
yeah, back in the day though, I would just like try to pick the giant path and just go down the giant path.
Right.
They
Well, because
the Chainsaw Sisters were very scary. I agree.
yeah, and that's the only spot that you encounter them in Leon's playthrough is there. You have to fight one in Ada's campaign. It's only one of them in Ada's separate ways. And in the original, I'm talking about the original, by the way.
Yeah.
Where you gotta like, you have to get the key in separate ways, but like they actually don't show up a lot, and you can completely miss it during your first playthrough if you don't go through that path, which is it's pretty shocking because I actually didn't know they were a thing because I was playing on the PS2 whenever I first encountered them, and I hadn't played Separate Ways yet. I know Separate Ways was added to the PS2 version, and so I was like, I had beaten the game maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times by that point, and I picked the other path, and I was like, whoa, I've never seen this enemy before. It was not a pleasant surprise, but definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's my first one's the Bella Sisters, your first one's the Chimera. Now that will take it up to level 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Make the spooky factor go up one notch.
Yeah, there we go.
If I started the last one, do you want to read off your next one?
Sure. Yeah, I got you. So, my next one, promise it's not all chainsaw enemies. My next one is the Chainsaw Magini. The Chainsaw Magini from Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
That cutscene where it just walks up and it's got the bag and the rope tied so tightly around its face that it's like, it's got the pieces of head just like sticking out of the bag, and you can just tell, like if you look at the eyes on that thing, or the one eye, excuse me, it's pretty terrifying, that opening cutscene, especially because you start off like after that cutscene, you're in a hallway type deal. You're going up those stairs, so you got a quick turn and run back, but there's already enemies back there. It's horrifying. Not to mention that whenever you, depending on what difficulty you're playing on, whenever you kill these guys for the first time, they actually get back up after like 30 seconds, and now they do that thing where they're spinning, kind of the thing that Super Salvador does in Resident Evil 4, where they're like just swinging their chainsaws around like a madman, and if it hits you even once for a second, you're just dead.
Yeah.
They're really hard to stun. Like if you don't have a high-powered weapon, you're shooting at jello. So I think that was definitely more of like I think the fear factor for me from that one comes from the adrenaline I got from that. Like whenever I was younger and just being like, oh my gosh, it's coming at me right now.
And the claustrophobia that because it's when the cutscene ends, you got walls beside you, it's in front of you, enemies behind you, and it's like, oh yeah, you're in control now again. Good luck.
Yeah. Yep. It is terrifying.
Yeah, fighting the chainsaw guys like always spiked my adrenaline, and it always freaked me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely sends you into fight or flight.
Yeah, very, very fight or flight. And you're fighting with that flight mode still activated too.
I know. Yeah. God, dude. Well, what's yours? What's your level 2?
Yeah, my next on the list, my first, the least scariest was the Chimera, but it's still pretty scary. The next on the list is Verdugo from the original Resident Evil 4. Big spooky insect scorpion man. That's what I got written down right here.
Description. I would know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, Verdugo. I was about 13 or 14 when Resident Evil 4 came out, and so I was older, so I was less scared of horror games. But the Verdugo section, where you encounter him down, just down underground, and you have to run from him, knock over was it nitrogen oxide or?
Yes, yeah, it's nitrogen of some kind.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nitrogen. Yeah, and you got to knock over those canisters. That part always freaked me out. That part definitely that gave me that adrenaline horror and a mix of just good like classic character horror, because the way Verdugo looked was also kind of spooky. So a lot of jump scares through that section, a lot of adrenaline having to run from them. Oh man, Verdugo, yeah. It was like with the chimeras, that part I was like, oh man, that part's coming up.
Yeah, well, I mean, because if you don't have a rocket launcher, he's literally invincible. Like, which is terrifying, or he's a pain in the ass to fight, and there's a limited amount of nitrogen tanks, so eventually, if that doesn't do the job, or you don't hit your shots correctly, then you're out of luck. You gotta wait it out. And he's fast, he runs at you.
Yeah, and the way he stands there and then he just sprints at you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or when you made it a good bit down the hall and you can just hear his footsteps behind you. Thump, 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 thump.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, yeah, just hearing the sound of yeah, I agree. That one actually is really scary. And the music. The Verdugo theme is really good there.
Oh yeah, a good accompanying song can really spike the atmosphere of whatever.
It's definitely something Resident Evil 4 did correctly, the original specifically. I think it definitely was self-aware and knew it wasn't as scary as the other games or as horror focused, so they did a really good job making it I think one of the biggest points in the game where you realize oh, I'm still playing a horror game is definitely whenever you walk out of the church after having Ashley and you make it back to that room that plays Serenity right before you get into the village. Walking out of that insignia door and that soundtrack, Echo in the Night, starts playing and you're in the rainy, stormy village now. That is and there's bear traps everywhere. It's oh my goodness, dude, this is still a really panic-inducing, stressful horror game.
Yeah, and I love the way the remake really captured that. The Resident Evil 4 remake really captured that atmospheric horror to the village.
Especially leading up to the river. Whenever it's nighttime by the river before you encounter your first type 2 plaga, that's the scariest for sure.
Yeah, because Verdugo really freaked me out in Resident Evil 4, very spooky, but the rest of Resident Evil 4 really wasn't that scary to me. And then so when I finally got to play the Resident Evil 4 remake, the atmosphere of the village in the remake, I just think they did a really good job with the atmosphere of the village. I was yeah, this is what they were trying to do back then, but they just couldn't quite capture it yet.
It's awesome that they have done that too. They knew what they wanted, and that's something Shinji Mikami specifically said about the first Resident Evil game was the reason he remade it was because he knew years later he was I still don't feel like Resident Evil captured what I truly wanted it to, and I think he absolutely aced it with one remake. So I think it's cool that they've come back and remade these Resident Evil games and really stayed true to how the original felt, but just capitalizing off of it.
Yeah.
So you have
I said Chimera and Verdugo.
Chimera and Verdugo. Yeah, that's good ones so far. Mine were Bella Sisters and Chainsaw Magini so far. Now we're moving on to level 3. Do you want to start with your level 3?
Yeah. So mine is for one step above Verdugo is actually Mr. X from the Resident Evil 2 remake. Mr.
Okay.
X actually, he still can jump scare me in the Resident Evil 2 remake. Every time I play through it, there's at least one moment where he pops up unexpectedly, and it definitely gives me a good jump scare. And then anytime I hear his boots stomping around, for some reason that type of sound effect, like it definitely adds like some type of fear, you know. And
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
oh man, I think they nailed it with Mr. X as a stalker enemy in Resident Evil 2 remake, because he feels less scripted than like Jack Baker, things like that. Like Jack Baker is really scary. Like especially the first time you play through, you know, Resident Evil 7, Jack Baker is extremely scary. You don't know where he's popping out at. You don't know what's happening, you know. But that's why I like Mr. X, is because it's a lot more unexpected, a lot more less scripted, it feels like. But
Yeah,
man,
and he's a
he's
free
scared
roam
me.
AI.
Yeah. He doesn't teleport, does he?
I
I
think
he might.
he like can move. He can move. Yeah, he can teleport
Yeah.
to other sides of the, like, he can teleport to the West Wing or the East Wing if you get too far. But like he
Yeah.
won't spawn directly next to you or in the other room or anything.
Yeah, because I remember I watched a video where I think Lady D, she actually free roams, but Mr. X, he does teleport. But
Yeah.
his jump scares, man, they definitely have gotten me more than once, and on playthroughs that, you know, my fourth time playing the game, he still got me with a good jump scare.
I think what really scared me about Mr. X was, like, whenever I thought, I personally haven't experienced this, but I saw a video where somebody had gone into a safe room and he also just came into the safe room. Like, oh my gosh, whoa. Like, you know, in Resident Evil 7, you can, like, escape Jack by going into the save room. In Resident Evil 8, you can escape Lady D by going into Duke's Emporium. But, like, just knowing that he can come into the save room if he's close enough to you is pretty crazy. Also, something that happened during my first playthrough of Resident Evil 2 Remake, whenever you're going up to, like, the clock tower, like the top of the police department to get the electrical box, you can still see, like, down in the main hall of the police department, and you can see him through the mist kind of walking around. If you shoot him while you're up there, he will look at you, the music will start, and he will immediately, like, find the quickest way to get to you. And it was so crazy to me, like, well, this is a really intelligent AI. Like, I shot it from, like, a totally different room, totally different level of the building, and here it comes. Like, it's just on the way. It'll be here in like 2 minutes. It was freaky.
And what's really and what's different about Mr. X from the first two on my list is his appearance doesn't really scare me. Like, his size is a little bit intimidating, but overall his appearance isn't scary. It's the sound effects that accompany him, like the heavy foot stomps, and then the jump scares that he's capable of doing. Little things like that. But, like, overall, his appearance isn't like terrifying to me. It's other aspects of him that make him scary, which I was just thinking about. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a really awesome pick, I think, and he isn't on my list, but that's what I think that's a very good honorable mention for me personally. But my third is, this might ruffle some feathers, I don't know, to have it in third. The Regenerators, from both, I would say more so, okay, so we can say as a whole, like, both 4 remake and the original, I think the Regenerators are really scary. Maybe not by, like, it's the music that accompanies them in the first one, the sound of their breathing, like all that breathing. I heard that in my nightmare, dude. I would hear that breathing, like,
earlier.
it's just
earlier I said the rest of Resident Evil 4 didn't scare me. I take that back. The Regenerators did scare me. I do
Yeah,
remember that now. I
the
can't believe I
regenerators.
forgot about. I was sitting here trying to think of like all the different enemies that have scared me over the years, and I skipped out
Yeah.
on the Regenerators. I have to slot them in next to Mr. X. I'm gonna have to kind of steal that one from you too right here because
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
I agree. The generators were spooky.
They're freaky, and I think their design is actually pretty simple. Like it's cool that they're just naked dudes walking around, like naked, bald, hairless, just walking around. And they don't really run. They don't run in the original. They don't run. In the remake, they do. But I think what makes them like really scary in both games is that they are, if you don't have the infrared scope and you don't have a really strong gun, you're gonna have to just run past these guys, and they can stretch their arms, they can lunge at you if you shoot their legs off.
And it's a jump
um
scare lunge too.
yeah, now if you're a pro at Resident Evil 4 OG, then you know you can just shoot the legs off and then knife their back. But it's pretty spooky as like a first playthrough type deal. I think
Yeah,
they both kind of have something over the other, though. I think the design in 4 is scarier because of the teeth.
yeah,
And I think like their eyes are glowing red, but it's never really dark whenever they're around. That's another thing that I think is really cool about the remakes, is now they can create actual dark environments. Before, in Resident Evil games, even if there's a room without a light in it, they still have to light in the area just so it can be seen, right? Because we don't have a flashlight like in the older like Silent Hill games, for example, where they did make their environments darker and gave you a flashlight. That didn't really happen in the older Resident Evil games. There's always just like an invisible light source in every room. So in remake, being able to see the regenerators, like, and the only thing you can see is their glowing yellow eyes like running towards you, that was what really scared me at the big, like my first playthrough of 4 remake, is because, talking about sound effects earlier with Verdugo,
yeah.
and Mr. X, dude, whenever the first time you play 4 remake and you hear those bare feet slapping on the ground, and you know
Whap,
that's
whap.
not walking. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
that's not walking, that's running, that's new. They didn't do that before. So it's like, it is, they are really scary.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of these creatures too, because we're talking about we're talking about like the first moments you encounter them, like the first
Yeah,
times you played these games, and like I'm thinking back to when I was a kid playing these games, like what scared me,
exactly.
what
Right.
scared me, and there's some of them on my list that, like, for Mr. X, I was like, in my 20s and everything. Resident Evil 2 remake, it came out much later, so I played it when I was much older. But like for that example, Mr. X, he still like jump scared me. It's not the same type of fear like the other ones, like being a kid and playing. Yeah, you get nightmares from these games, and then next day you'd be like, I gotta play more.
Yeah.
you know
There's definitely a difference between, like, I noticed on this list, some of my, like, an example I'll give is the chainsaw enemies that I had as my 1 and 2 spot.
Yeah,
The fear that you get from them is not like oh, I'm scared of the dark, like I need to turn my lights on kind of fear. It's
yeah,
like, it's an adrenaline pumping, like fight or flight response kind of fear. Whereas like with the regenerators, that's genuinely like actually just scary. Like you don't want to go any further.
yeah. Yeah, I'd say like the Chimera and the nah, not the Verdugo. I'd say because I was about 13 or 14 when I seen the Verdugo, so I didn't worry about the whole light thing. But the Chimera,
Right.
I was much younger then. The Chimera is definitely the I want the light on type of thing when you're a kid.
Yeah,
For me,
for
Chimera
sure.
was very spooky. But yeah, the
Um,
regenerators as your pick. Yeah, I gotta slot that in next to Mr. X because I completely spaced on them, and they would be
right.
in my list. I can't believe I spaced on them. They are
Well,
spooky.
it makes sense because that's a really popular one. You know, we're trying to really think outside the box here. But I think yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good first three for both of us. Would you? I can start with. Let's see. You did
Yeah,
your
you
level
start with the
3 first.
next
Yeah,
one.
so I'll go with 4. Yeah. All right. So now we're getting these are the last two enemies from both of us. We can have some honorable mentions too, but this is where stuff gets really
Yeah,
scary for me.
yeah, I got a humble shout out on my list. It's a very unique, humble shout out from an unexpected place, considering my opinions on where it came from. You'll see, you'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I think you might resonate with this one, especially with chimeras being kind of your number one spot. I think my number 4 has to go to the Reapers in Resident Evil 5.
Okay, yeah.
They're basically just chimeras but bigger, and they can one shot you. Um, and I think the first time you encounter it in Resident Evil 5, you're in the missile area, and you just hear this gross, sounds like it's out of an alien movie, like an egg hatching, and then you hear like a screech, and just, oh my gosh, you get there and it drops down from the ceiling. And this thing is right in front of you. It's the most grotesque insect you've ever seen, and it's double your size, and it can one-shot you. So
Yeah.
it's just all around horrible, and I think, like, also, it's basically invincible unless you shoot its weak spot, which is very hard to hit sometimes, and even if you do have a clear shot, it can just randomly close up its white spot, so you can't shoot it. So that might lead to a situation where you're like kind of close to it and it's walking towards you, its white spot's open, you shoot it, and then it closes and you just don't have time to get away. This thing's coming at you and boom, gotta restart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think they're very similar to the chimeras, very similar.
Because I played 5 before I played 1 remake. And so question, were chimeras in the original, or is that a remake exclusive?
No, chimeras are in the original.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So only I guess
original
Crimpy
Resident Evil
Heads
1.
and Lisa Trevor were the new things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the chimeras and the Reapers are definitely just like different versions of each other. I would definitely say Reapers are more dangerous, which is kind of where, like, it hits multiple fear factors for me. It's like you've got the kind of fear that I get from the chainsaw enemies with them being one-shot enemies, right? So I've got that fight or flight, like I can't let you get close kind of energy. And then I have the added effect that this thing is gross and a bug and it's huge.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, some bugs can be generally scary just because of their appearances. Their appearances can be very alien
sure.
and very,
And Capcom knows it. They know it. Every game that they do, they just give us some gross insect enemy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 4. Yeah, right. Literally, that's especially think about like 1 remake. It's like giant snake, giant spider, giant Zero's giant scorpion. It's like there's just so many giant bugs and animals. But what is your level 4?
Yeah, so my personal level 4, let's see here. For me, because I have on my list as a from 5 to 1, 5 being the least scariest, 1 being the most scariest. So this is my second spot, second place scariest enemy. My level 4 spot. This is it goes to Crimson Heads.
Ooh, that was one I was debating putting on the list, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Crimson Heads. When the Resident Evil 1 remake came out, I was about 10 or 11, and I was like playing the game at night. I had the lights off. I was doing the thing, right? And when I got to the Crimson Head parts, it legit scared me, and I didn't play the game for like 3 months or something. For like 3 months, 6 months. Like, I put it up for a moment. I was like, it legitimately like scared me good. And I was like, I said no. And so I put up the game for like 3 months, 6 months, like just, a good amount of time, but a little amount of time. I picked it back up and beat the game. And it was really scary. And I was about 10 or 11, and so Crimson Heads definitely did it for me. That's my.
I bet you had a field day with the Elder Crimson Head.
Oh, the prisoner, the dude chained up. I forget. I forget the notes about him there, but he's like the original V Act or whatever.
Right.
I think it's called V Act. Yeah. And that was spooky. That was spooky.
Yeah. For sure. Well, because I didn't really know about Crimson Heads until I had played one remake, so like that was shocking, and I think it gives you like there's the initial fear factor of like, oh my god, that thing just got up, like, and then you learn about it, you read the file, and then the second fear hits. You start thinking about every zombie you've killed so far, and you're like, uh-oh.
You're just thinking about hallways filled with these things, and the way they stand up. Oh, that first
I know,
one.
they're just like
the first scripted one, the way it stands up is so spooky. It just shoots straight up, and it just stands for like a good second, and then just lunges at you.
The way they run, too, like they're hunched over with their hands in front of them, and they're just like running. They're really fast, too.
Yeah, it has the Hunter vibes, but it's a zombie.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's a good way of putting it, definitely.
Which I would have Hunters on the list, but they never really scared me as a kid. The Hunters looked more cool than scary. I could get some good jump scares from them, but Hunters
never
cool
scared me. Yeah, they just really pissed me off. Like, because like I feel like every game that they're in, Revelations, 3, 1 remake, I feel like I'm missing one, but like,
they're in like a lot of them, definitely.
Yeah.
At least
and they're
variations.
Right. Yeah, and they're just very. I don't know, man. They're like annoying because in every game that they're in, they can one shot. So it's like. My beef with them comes from in the caves in RE1. You're sitting there, and bullshit just happens in the older Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 0, 1 remake, 2, 3, like those, even Code Veronica, like those older Resident Evil games really just BS just be happening, and you can't really do much about it. And I'm a trophy hunter, so I'm going for this like no save run. I'm like an hour and 30 into it in the caves, like 20 minutes away from the end of the game. Boom, one shot by a hunter.
Yeah.
Gotta restart.
Yeah. Now this is funny because it kind of contains a little bit of a Mandela effect apparently, but check this out. So when I was like 10 or 11, I went over to my friend's house, and he had Resident Evil 1 director's cut, right? And so we would play it. We actually played and beat the game. Me and him would pass the controller back and forth and play and beat the game. And during the parts with all the hunters, the tiger statue room, right? There's the hallway by the Keeper's Diary, and it has the so what happened was there's a hunter that jumps out from that hallway, and so we're walking down the hallway, and the hunter jumps out. We get jump scared, and then in one smooth motion the hunter then leaps at us and decapitates the character. I think we were playing as Chris, if we were playing as Chris. He decapitates the character and lands in front of the camera holding the character's head in his hand, right? And I still remember like the hunter doing that, because I remember me and him being like, whoa, he's holding our head, that's crazy. And the Mandela effect is apparently they were planning on that feature, but they took it out, and so it was never actually in the games. But I remember I remember me and him playing that game, and the hunter, because it was so smooth, the hunter jumped out from around the corner, and then he jumped at us. Like we got jump scared from him popping out around the corner, and then he jumped at us, took our head off, and he landed perfectly in front of the camera because of the way the fixed camera angle was. And
of course.
And you could see our character in the background, headless, drop to his knees, and then like fall no face first. And just a crazy memory, and like
that is interesting. However, I would definitely, if you still have contact with that buddy, I would see if he still has that copy of the game, because there are several instances, I know you've heard of a few throughout gaming history, where like things like somehow a copy got put out that was just not supposed to. I think I played Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 2, and I swear to this day my soundtrack was different than everyone else's. Like the whole 40 songs were completely different than what you find whenever you look up today Raging Blast 2 soundtrack, and I stand by it to this day. And so I would definitely, that's very interesting. Maybe you guys legitimately got a hold of a copy that was like already had that kind of implemented as a feature.
Because before I even heard about it, when I was a little kid, I even had this same thought. I mean, back when I was playing like Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64, I had this feeling that my friends' games felt different from mine. You know? And whether it's I'm playing my copy on their console or their copy of their game, like on their console. Like, let's say I have GoldenEye and they have GoldenEye. Their GoldenEye, like, just something about it just feels different. Somehow. Yeah, it just feels different somehow. And what I chalked it down to was that it's just electronics, so there's probably just little variations and differences as they come off the assembly line can lead to the way it functions to be just slightly different from each other. I never
thought about that, but that's a really good point.
And then
there could be little minute tweaks like that could just happen by accident.
Like with the like if my friend actually had a copy that the hunter could decapitate, because I remember our character getting decapitated and us being like, oh, that's crazy.
Know what happened.
Yeah, he's holding his head. That's freaking crazy.
Right.
We beat that game together. That's some good memories. And so like basically like that feature's in the game, like the code's there, but it's like blocked off. So maybe as it just got stamped out on the assembly line, just a little manufacturing defect just kind of made it just bug out and activate that feature.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. I'd be curious to look into like if anyone else has footage of that, because maybe it's like a really hard, rare Easter egg too.
Well, because there's footage of it, but I'll have to look up all the details about it. But I just remember it being like, oh, that never existed. Like no one had a copy of the game that did that. And I'm like, what?
That's fascinating.
What are you talking about?
It's like I literally played it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time for us to get into our top spot, what we personally believe are the scariest enemies in the franchise for our personal list, and I'll have you start.
Yeah. Well, mine's gonna seem pretty basic, but my number one personal scariest enemy in the Resident Evil franchise for me has been the OG, the original, the zombie. That right there is what gave me sleepless nights as a kid. Like spicy food, I get a taste of it, I'm like, oh, it burns, but I want more. It's so
Right.
scary. I'd go to, like, I'd be a little kid, zombie stuff would scare me, zombie movies, stuff like that, but I couldn't get enough of it. And so, like, playing the Resident Evil games, like, the zombies would scare me the most. But I just keep coming back.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unexpected, but I totally get it, actually. And I have to somewhat, like, definitely not my one spot, but I totally get the thought process there. Like, that makes total sense, and I would argue, I would be able to argue for that. Like, if someone was like, I need you to defend this cause, I could do it for sure. Like, that is a really good one, I think.
Yeah, everything from the first zombie encounter, the zombie you meet munching on Kenneth, the slow turn to as you go throughout the mansion, because that was really like my first encounter with them was the Resident Evil. I played I played Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil Code Veronica all around the same time.
Okay.
So it's real hard for me to remember which one that I really played first, because I owned Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64, but my friend had Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation, and I ended up getting I think at Code Veronica I played last. I ended up getting that on the Dreamcast, so that one I played last. So it's between Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 that I played first.
I heard that's the best way to play Code Veronica.
It's amazing. It's good, Steve has a different haircut.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Steve has a different haircut. But it's
yeah, he does. He has more of that like Leonardo DiCaprio type deal going on.
Type cut.
Yeah.
But it's the zombies, man. The moans of the zombies, the shuffling, the jump scares, your imagination as a kid, little things like that. They something about zombies really, really spooked me out, but it was mental spicy food. I just kept coming back.
That is totally fair. And
of all the enemies, they scared me the most and the most times.
So you're probably, oh my gosh, you're probably over the moon about Resident Evil 9 then, seeing that cop turn into a zombie in the trailer.
I'm hoping they do the zombies right, because my idea of special zombies, like, imagine this, right? Like the Resident Evil 1 mansion, all the zombies, right? But all the zombies, all in the same places, same amount of zombies, same places, but each zombie has a different, like, unique model. So it really feels like, a resident of the Spencer Mansion turned into a zombie, instead of like just, multiple of the same models, Like,
right, yeah.
I'm very happy that they have the zombies coming in Resident Evil 9, that they're referring to them as zombies, and I'm just hoping that that we fight multiple zombies.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, I hope they're not like mini boss encounters. I hope we fight some hordes of zombies. I hope we enter a room and there's like 4 or 5 of them. One twitching in a corner, another one kind of like, they all have their own unique kind of, because I like the idea of, they all have unique animations or personalities and stuff. But, you have one zombie twitching away in a corner, and another one like, fast shuffling up towards you or something. There's things they can do. I'm excited to see what they can do, so.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious to know, though, what your opinion is on the Resident Evil 6 zombies.
Oh, Leon's campaign is my favorite campaign out of Resident Evil 6 for sure, because zombies to me, Resident Evil is zombies. Zombies is Resident Evil. That's how I feel. And so the zombies in Resident Evil 6, they made them a little bit faster and stuff in moments and everything, which isn't bad with
literally running
with the way
and jumping at you.
Yeah, which I mean, they explain it with what it's different form of the virus, which there's things
Right.
explainable. I think the best way to do it is like I don't mind running zombies or nimble zombies, athletic zombies, what have you. Just have them
Of course.
sprinkled in throughout the slow shambling hordes. Like imagine you enter a room and there's like there's like 6 zombies, and like you see like 5 of them are shuffling around, but you just see one of them just bolt at you.
Yeah, one of
That
them, yeah, coming from the crowd. Oh my gosh, that would be
yeah,
horrifying.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that type of idea is I like that. So yeah, I'm not against running zombies and everything. I just think
Yeah.
why not both, and have them be sprinkled in and everything.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great number one pick. I have to agree with them being probably like some of the scariest enemies in the franchise, just at a real like raw level, like just for what they are. It is really freaky.
And before we move on to yours, I just want to expand on a thing with the Resident Evil 6 there. The
Go
way
for
they
it.
changed them up for Resident Evil 6 really kept in line with the gameplay of Resident Evil 6. And so, like,
Yeah.
man, like, when I think of, see, that they can add zombies to action titles and still have them incorporated. And that's why I think, like, Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4, they could have had zombies that were basically villagers whose Las Plagas parasite failed to bond with them. So the body starts rotting. The parasites
Yeah.
can't really control the body that well. So you have a slow shambling corpse with parasites wiggling out of its face, right? And so
That would have been golden. Yeah.
yeah, and so like all the villagers that have bonded with their parasites like push these failed bonds like out into like the outskirts of the village, and so you encounter them all kind of all throughout, but there's sections where they're more and then sections where there's less. But and then Resident Evil 7, zombies with mold, Crimson Head rules. If you don't burn the bodies of the molded zombies, they'll mold out into a molded, that kind of idea.
Yeah.
And you could still encounter like fully molded enemies coming out of the walls and stuff, but you could still have
Sure.
molded zombies sprinkled throughout there that act as a like a Crimson Head rules. If you don't burn the body, I won't even say decapitate. Well, I think the decapitation does stop them. It stops the cop because Lucas cuts
Yeah.
off the cop's head. So yeah, decapitation or burning the body will stop them from molding out. But I just think there's ways they could keep the zombies in the titles while adding new enemies and new for example, zombies with parasites, Resident Evil 4, zombies with mold, Resident Evil 7, zombies with viruses, the other Resident Evils.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
matter
for sure.
what type of illness is causing it, they could add zombies in there with it. Did I tell you guys I
agree.
love zombies? Zombies are the best.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just if y'all can't tell. No, but I think that's totally valid. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, sorry for
Alright,
that
I
kind of
think-
longer than usual rant. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's a lot. That's a thought that never really occurred to me, but I totally get it. Like having that as a number one spot, it's just pretty fascinating to me.
They scared me the most
yeah.
as a kid, man. They scared me the most.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm ready to do my number one grand reveal.
Drum roll, let's go.
This is a little hard for me actually because it was down to 2 enemies, which is really weird because then you would think that the other enemy that I didn't pick would have been on the list, but I don't know. I feel like it would be disrespectful to put the other on the list and not at number 1. So I settled on.
Yeah, I get
it. Was between Jack Baker and Marguerite.
Okay.
And I settled on Marguerite. Marguerite is probably like the scariest. Okay, so this gets deep, all right? So whenever I was younger, I had a family member who worked in nursing homes, okay? And I don't know if this is a universal thing. I feel like I've heard people say whenever they were younger, they were also a little scared of like older people just because it's a little uncanny. as a young person, you know, new, like
So,
freshly on the planet, to like see someone who's, you know, about ran their time up, right? And a lot of the
yeah,
people at the
I get
nursing
you.
home were definitely like, they were there, but just kind of like staring off, or some of them were mean because of dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever they may have.
That can
And
be
like,
scary to a
so
young kid, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
especially
of
with the
course. And so
appearance
whenever I was younger,
of a very
right,
elderly person can be pretty jarring to a young kid. And then they're acting
exactly.
weird, yeah. 'Cause the kid's like, "What's
Yeah,
going on?" Yeah.
exactly. Like, what's up with this guy? Right. So whenever I was younger, I was very fearful of older people. And I don't know, have you ever seen It Follows?
No, but I heard. I'm pretty sure I've seen. There's a pool scene in the movie, right?
Yeah, yeah, there is a
Yeah.
pool
Okay.
scene.
Yeah, I've
Yeah. So
seen
you know
clips
what
and
movie I'm talking about.
yeah, I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of clips from it, but I haven't seen it like all the way through or
So
anything.
you may have seen the clip where the main character Jay is in school and there's an older woman. The entity has taken the shape of an older lady, and she's in a hospital gown, and just with a straight face, she just walks towards Jay slowly. Just like no urgency, just blank face, walking towards her. And so that kind of like, basically, point is, throughout my life I've had multiple instances of being like, wow, old people can be pretty creepy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
um
get you.
and so, hopping into Resident Evil 7, Jack wasn't scary to me because Jack seemed to have his bearings about him. I mean, as much as you can, being like a mold controlled you know, kidnapper. But he seemed to be a little more like intelligent. Like, you know, Marguerite's just sitting there like, he's not eating it, Jack. And Jack's like, shut the fuck up, like, you know, getting all angry at her and shit. So like,
I cooked
I
that for
I
him.
right, yeah. So I always thought she was like just kind of like crazy, like okay, this girl's actually insane, like she's losing it. And
And
so
loving it. She's losing it and loving it.
I know, dude. Yeah, especially playing her DLC where you're trapped in the bed. But dude, yeah, I think like the tape where you're playing is Mia, and you make it to the end, you have to like hide from her and everything. And then
Yeah.
she just shows up and her face is right there in the camera. It reminds me of Deadly Silence, or Dead Silence, sorry, Resident Evil in my brain. Dead Silence, you may have seen that. That's the movie that has the doll and the lady named Mary Shaw. It's like it's a early 2000s horror movie.
I gotcha.
But
I
it's
don't think
like,
I've seen it, but Mary
it's
Shaw sounds familiar.
yeah, it's just, if you looked up on Google Mary Shaw, you'd see the picture I'm talking about. But it's just so creepy. It reminded me of that in that videotape. And then like the lead up, obviously, to her final fight, you see her like, her long ass arm reach out from the like underground tunnel, I guess, and she grabs that lantern that you need, and you're like, whoa, that's a really long arm you got there. That wasn't like that before.
Well, that was special.
And yeah, they kind of hint to it throughout the game. They're just like, oh, here's her house. It's full of bugs and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so we kind of knew it was going in that direction. And obviously, getting into bugs, you know, you've heard from this list, not a big fan of bugs.
Well, if you
So
jump in there and look down the tunnel, you can see her scurrying away
walks
too.
away. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen Coraline?
No, have
Well,
not.
Coraline, it's a kids movie, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know about it.
she has like she has an evil mother, and she turns into like a spider type creature at some point.
Oh,
And that was
spooky.
really scary to me as a kid as well. So
Yeah.
Marguerite so far is just tapping all of the childhood fears so far that I've got laid out.
Yeah.
She's got Coraline, she's got It Follows, nursing home vibes, like just real scary. And then just to finally be in that house, she bursts through the window and grabs you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, dude.
That part
And
got
it's
me good.
dark. Yeah, and it's dark in that house. It's dark, and the atmosphere is like quiet, so you can hear her like juicing around. and then she finally jumps down from the ceiling, and you just see she has this big hive on her lower abdomen. It's just overall
It's
such a
body
scary.
horror too, right there. Body horror.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like, oh my God, she's got a beehive there. That's interesting.
There, there's elderly horror. There's insect horror. There's body horror. There's jump
Yeah,
scares with her. There's
God.
there's a lot. There's a lot to it with her.
If you ask me, Marguerite was more. She was way better done than Jack was. That's my opinion. I think Jack was scary, but Marguerite was done way better as far as like a horror character.
Yeah, it's a great toss up between the two. Definitely, I like how like it's a hard decision, like you said, because with like Jack Baker, the I'd say like his encounter, like running from him and him stalking was overall that was scary, but his appearance isn't scary, right?
Yeah, he just kind of looks like a regular dude.
Yeah, and then for me, like Marguerite, she had some scary moments, but then it was when you get to that house, that's where it ramps up. Like when she jumps through that window, like that scared me good. Like I did not expect that the first time I was playing Resident Evil 7, and I jumped from that one. That one got me good. And then when you battle her in the greenhouse and you don't know where she's going to come out at, and you turn around and she's just waddling at you all lanky. Oh, that is absolutely terrifying.
Her arms are like literally dragging on the ground. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, or
she's
one of them. Oh man, I was like looking around for her. I'm like, where is she? And then I remember, like, I stopped. And I don't know if I caught out of the corner of my eye first. I can't remember, but I slowly look up, and she's just sitting on the ceiling, like either in the hole. I think she was in one of the holes, looking through before she crawls through. She's just peering. She's just looking through the hole, and I just see her up there, and I just felt myself go cold. I felt I was like,
dude,
oh.
that feeling you felt. That is what like 15,000 years ago we felt like being hunted.
Yeah,
just like
I know I'm being watched. Where is it? And I just slowly look up, and I just see her, and it's just silence. It's just me, her, in the silence.
Whenever you walk past certain parts where she can like grab you, like I remember walking like in the greenhouse fight where she just like grabs me from the upper level and pulls me up there. That was so scary because I didn't know she could do that. And still to this day, Marguerite's a boss fight that, like, depending on what difficulty you're playing on, you're gonna get to see a lot more of what she can do than usual. Because like if you're playing on standard, what is it in Resident Evil 7? It's just normal, right? Is that what they call it, normal or standard?
I don't remember. I think is it Madhouse for the highest difficulty?
Madhouse is the highest, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the difficulties too well. I'm pretty sure it just easy, normal, and hard, basically.
Right. Well, regardless, if you're playing on Madhouse, that fight is literally like 10 minutes of your life, easily, and you really see a lot of what that AI can do. I think it's important for people, and I actually try to a rule I have whenever I start new games, actually what kept me from beating Resident Evil 0 for so long, is I try to beat every game that I play for the first time on the hardest available difficulty. Because I think that really adds to the experience. If an enemy has more health, then you're going to get to have a longer fight with them. And you'll really get to see what they can do, see what, what the developers spent time on. So I think Marguerite was a great example of that.
Yeah, you definitely get to experience a more richer version of the game when you play on higher difficulties. With my streams, a little humble little self promo here. If anyone wants to check it out, we do I do some live streaming, And I'm currently finishing up my Silent Hill playthroughs, playing Silent Hill for the room. But
And he
I've been
always
kind
wants
of
to stream whenever I'm going to bed.
my stream times are all over the place, so please hit that notification bell if you want to stay notified, because I don't know when I'm gonna stream, but I stream at least every day. I'll pop
Yes, he
in.
does.
Yeah, and but it's like sometimes I'll start a game on easy because I'm just like, I just want to play a casual playthrough and everything. But it's I definitely have that feeling in the back of my mind where I'm like, I know I'll get more out of the game by playing it. I'll get more of an accomplishment out of the game by playing it on a higher difficulty. But yeah, just if you ever come by a stream and I'm playing on easy, it's just because I'm just going for a casual playthrough, just kind of just have fun, enjoy the game and stuff.
Well, yeah, and a casual playthrough is great for really appreciating the environments you go through too. So I think each difficulty definitely has its spot where it shines for sure.
Yeah. But you definitely.
I think that was.
Yeah, that was a list right there.
I think both of our lists were really good, and I'm glad to hear that they were different. I don't think we had any of the same. We both kind of agreed on regenerators, but as far as like our regular our bases, we didn't have any of the same ones.
Yeah, we kind of yeah, it's a very unique because the different eras too. Because when I'm thinking of them, I'm thinking like all the ones I played as a kid. So the ones I played as a kid, it was like Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4. And then you played Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see the different lists from the different experiences we had as kids, man. Very cool.
Yeah, do you wanna recap them real quick? I can do my recap.
Yeah, that's literally what I was just thinking. Yeah, go ahead and go first, buddy.
Well, yeah, we'll do our recap, and then I figure we can go into some honorable mentions. I'm sure we both have a few that, or at least one that we thought should make it on the list. So started with the Bella sisters. Main reasons thought they were scary. It's just the one-shot effect, and then also them being like just the sound effects of their voices are freaky, and there's 2 of them, so it makes them pretty scary. Chainsaw Majini. Just the claustrophobia of that opening scene, also the fact that once you kill them on certain difficulties, they get back up and start swinging their chainsaw like a madman, and like they laugh. That's another thing. The ones in 5 laugh.
They laugh.
Which is really scary. And then my third one was Regenerators, which I feel like is everybody
That's
watching
a solid
this can agree that Regenerators. Yeah, they're pretty. That's a safe pick always.
Because I was a teen when I played Resident Evil 4, and they still spooked me,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. To this day, whenever you're about to go into War Room and you're in that jail cell area like that, I always get scared hearing that regenerator in the jail cell. I've actually never watched him. I always just run past him because I'm scared.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
And then I had the Reapers, which definitely big scary bug that can one-shot you. And then finally I finished with Marguerite, which we just talked about. And then Americana, let's hear yours.
Yeah, so my personal top 5, going from least scariest to most scariest, but all 5 on here definitely scared me at some point in my life. Number 5 would be the Chimera from Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 1 Remake. The Chimera is the spooky little insect monkey you encounter often the labs, and just their overall appearance, their movements, great jump scares from them too. They'll come down from the ceiling, run around the corner at you. Very scary. Chimera definitely freaked me out going through those sections. I was like, oh, this section's coming up.
Right.
And then above that, another one that made me feel the same way was Verdugo. Similar in appearance, he got that kind of insect look, and he's just a lot bigger. And a lot of the you know, approaching that section, I was just like, man, this section's coming up. I gotta mentally prepare for this,
The
you know?
dread. Yes.
Yeah, because when you're running down that hole and you can hear his footsteps just gaining on you, and you're trying to reach that nitrogen before he reaches you, like between the sound effects and his appearance, it's just really well done and definitely scared me.
Yeah.
Then I had Mr. X as my number 3, and Mr. X from the Resident Evil 2 remake specifically. And it's not really his appearance that scares me. His appearance is a little bit intimidating, but it's not really scary. But his the sound effects of his footsteps, and then the unpredictability of when he can pop up. Yeah, he has great jump scare potential. Every time I play through the Resident Evil 2 remake, no matter how many times I've played through it, I will get jump scared by Mr. X at least once. And and the sound of his footsteps pounding around a room or two over always puts me on edge. Always stresses me out. Like, even though I know I'm fine, just like the sound of it, like, puts me on edge. But I have to agree that I kind of want to slot the regenerators next to him as well, because man, the regenerators, they were scary, and they definitely spooked me good. Definitely, that was the play with the lights on moment, you know.
Oh yeah. Me too. To this day.
And then number 2 for me, second place scariest, was Crimson Heads. That made me shut off Resident Evil 1 remake for a good few months when I first encountered them playing in the dark at night. I was like 10 or 11, encountered them, and I said nope. I noped right out. That was my first nope in life. I think that was my first nope out of a video game, was the Crimson Heads. And which is surprisingly, they're not on my, you know, number 1 spot, because they like, it scared me good, the Crimson Heads, from their movement, you know, their zombies, their appearance, everything. That first encounter, the way he stands up, we talked about that. I'm just doing a recap. I'm just doing a recap.
Of course, yeah.
But number 1 has to go to the zombies for me. That's my personal scariest. When I was a kid, zombies absolutely terrified me. And so anytime I seen anything, watch a movie with zombies or play video games with zombies, I was like, you know, oh man, I gotta have the lights on type of fear, you know? And it was, yeah.
I literally, like, I think, furthermore, what's cool about that being your number 1 spot, I think maybe for me, the reason I don't think they're as spooky is because zombies have been very normalized in, like, modern day culture and stuff. But, like, I think whenever I think of who, like, pioneered zombies, I'm thinking Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. I feel like that was one of them.
Oh yeah.
I think just Night of the Living Dead and Resident Evil is what does it for me. Like, and so I think definitely, like, whenever you were growing up playing against those zombies and stuff, fighting against them, it's like they were still pretty fresh in you know, like, gaming culture and stuff.
Yeah, I got to because okay, like, I was born in the 90s there, so I got to grow up in, like, you know, I got to grow up in the 90s, and then my teenage years was like throughout the 2000s, right? So throughout the 2000s was when zombie culture really ramped up, and we had a lot of bangers. We had Shaun of the Dead, we had Zombieland, we had oh my goodness, what else? I can't blank out on these.
28 days later.
28 days later. Oh man, I'm just blanking right now, but
oh, you're good. I think those are good. Yeah.
It all, there's then the media became oversaturated with zombies. I mean, with video games too, you had like Dead Space and like other things that came out. Everything was, you know, taking advantage of the whole zombie craze. And
Yeah.
so like zombies kind of start to horde amass a horde on the culture there, and so they kind of zombie fatigue happened, because of that. Everyone's just tired of zombies, and
Right, but you definitely got to experience it before that really kicked in, I feel like.
yeah, and I don't think like zombies can't be scary, because I think the Resident Evil 2 remake is a great example of zombies in modern gaming that are still, scary. Like they're what is it? It's they're slow, shambling zombies, and Resident Evil 2 remake makes it absolutely scary. I mean, for everything from their appearance, their movements, and then the environment, really brings it all out. I think zombies can still be scary, and I believe in their I believe they can come back to life.
Yeah, good one. I think zombies are cool, and I do want to save this topic specifically that I'm about to bring up for another. I think this would be a great podcast video idea. I'll talk to you about that more after this, but
slow zombies versus fast zombies.
I'm thinking like okay, just a little sneak peek of what I'm thinking here. I've thought this since we got the trailer for Resident Evil 9. You see, at the end of Outbreak, obviously they're focusing on Outbreak here with Alyssa and stuff, so they are definitely doing their studying on Outbreak, and from what we know of the ending of Outbreak, they were dropping, T-Virus into the radiation zone of Raccoon City, right? And it was living. It was able to, survive in that climate, so I've just had this theory, and I would love to do a podcast episode on theories, Resident Evil theories, but this, just a little sneak peek, one of mine is, what if Resident Evil 9 has, radiated zombies, or, radiated BOWs, kind of not exactly like Fallout, but, kind of giving Fallout vibes a little bit with the enemies. I think it'd be crazy to see a nuclear radiation zombie. I don't know.
Well, just imagine a normal zombie, right? Like slow shambling, normal Resident Evil 2 remake zombie, right? But it has 2 arms on one side and then just 1 arm on the other.
Yeah. Yeah, start giving us, that would be really cool.
He has the 2 arms, but then on one of his sides is a little stumpy arm or something,
Yeah, just give us zombies, but the body horror, really make it
a little bit of body horror in there,
Yeah.
It's still it's all zombies still, but with the little extra touch of body horror.
Yeah. Are there any honorable mentions you want to throw in there? I only have one.
I got one. I got one movie one too. Dawn of the Dead remake. That was one I forgot to mention earlier too. That came out 2004, and that was huge in reviving zombies. Yeah. Huge.
For sure.
Yeah, but you go ahead and do your humble shout out, and I will do my humble shout out as well.
Will do. All right, this has been the G-Cast. This is episode 2, I believe. Thank you for watching. I'm glad to be here doing this with my friend Americana. My name is Cryohazard, or Hayden, whatever you want to call me. Links to both of our channels will be in the description. And then just I do some content here and there, really trying to focus on dark atmospheric content, more think if Silent Hill was a video essay, kind of like that. That's kind of the stuff that I'm going for. So if that sounds cool to you, then check that out. And then Americana.
Yeah, definitely. And I was confused for a minute, because I thought the humble shoutouts was an enemy not on the list, but that we wanted to maybe give a humble.
We can cut that out then. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. So,
no, you don't have to. No. Yeah, that's do whatever you want. Yeah.
No, that's funny. So okay, mine would be Chief Mendez for sure. The
Oh,
way
that is a
he
good one. Yeah.
he's intelligent. He's not like completely brain dead because of the parasite or anything. And whenever he transforms specifically, like I don't like insects, but I really don't like ones that have like 100 legs or anything like that. So to see him turn into like this centipede type thing with razor sharp claws. Oh my goodness, that is a scary one for me for sure.
It definitely, I was afraid of fighting him like in such close quarters. Like that scared me definitely. Like when that part came
Yeah,
up, like just being in close quarters is what scared me about him. Not so much his appearance, yeah, but the close quarters of that combat was just absolutely frightening.
for sure.
My little humble enemy shout out, which is a surprising one because I have some rough criticisms of Resident Evil 8, and I have some especially rough criticisms of Shadows of Rose. But my
Yeah.
humble shout out comes from Shadows of Rose. It's the Mia mannequins.
Oh my
Those
gosh, dude.
those things.
Yeah.
Any type of weeping angel enemy, I'm done.
Oh. Oh my
I'm done.
gosh. The only reason, you want to know something? The only reason that wasn't number one on my list is because I like I didn't know to think about them as enemies or not. I'm making a video.
Yeah,
We're actually we're gonna be doing we're gonna be talking about this together. But like I would that will be on my list for sequences. Like I consider like another one is like the Resident Evil 8 baby. Like a lot of people would say that's the scariest enemy. I would not like categorize that as an enemy for me because it's not really like something that I have to fight against. It's something I have to escape. So I think those are like very scary sequences.
yeah, there's things I would definitely love to expand about that. So I'll save them for that. So definitely
Yeah.
everyone keep an eye out for the next episode. Definitely do that. Don't
Yeah.
forget to hit like and hit subscribe. Become a channel member and definitely join the Discord. Links are in the descriptions. We both have our own individual Discord, so hey, join them both.